Morning. Hi, Jackie. Don't know if you can hear that sort of noise that's kind of in the background. That's my washing machine downstairs, so apologies for that. Morning, Jean. It's funny, the count's going up and down, up and down. Maybe internet's not very good today. Hi, Annette. Maybe everybody's busy today. It's very dark here and very cold. Hi, Sue. So we're here today looking at the brand new dyes launching on Hochanda tomorrow, and some of them are really new. Hi, Jenny. Some of them were launched in the States in November last year, and we haven't actually done a Tutti design show on Hochanda for a while now. I think it probably was October actually, thinking about it. So it's been a while since we've seen them. Hopefully quite a few of you've actually got some of the Tutti Designs dyes now, and you know how well they cut. It's really exciting to have some new stuff from them. There are 19 dyes on the shows, and every single one of them hasn't been seen on Hochanda before. So lots of newness. So it's not all about the Slimline dyes, but there's quite a few of them. I think there's 7 of them on the show, which is not their entire collection. Hopefully we'll be bringing some more of the collection in February. So let's crack on, and I'll hopefully quickly go through the dyes that are on the show. So this is what we're looking at, the Slimline background dyes. And Slimline dyes are actually, they're bigger than I thought they were. I thought they were DL size, but they're not actually. They're if you cut a piece of A4 card in half lengthways, so not kind of A5 but lengthways, so you've got a long thin strip, then that's almost what a tall thin card is. My actual cards that I've made are 4 1/8 inches wide, which is half an A4, by 9 1/8 inches tall. So that's what they are. But you do not have to make cards that size if you don't want to. Anyway, let's press on. So first of all, we're starting with the hearts background, just showing you what they look like when they're on a piece of black card cut out of white. So obviously this one you can easily kind of put a frame around it and change it, and I will show you my samples as well. This is one of the oriental backgrounds, and there's 2 of them. This is background 2. There's some of you might actually recognize this design, because there is actually kind of almost an A6 size background like this, so it kind of stops there and it's a little bit wider, but this is obviously the tall thin version, and this one was very popular. I think we've had it on Hochanda twice in the smaller size, so I think that one's going to be a hit. This is the one that we're going to use today. This is the flower background, and actually I ought to measure them for you, shouldn't I? So they are, rule around the right road, because I don't do centimetres. This is in inches. This is 3 5/8 inches wide by just over 8.5 inches long. So that's how big they are. There's a lot of metal for your money there. And that's what that one looks like, cut out. Then this one's called the Gentleman Background, and this is the one that I actually put up onto Facebook today. And I've actually made a square card out of it, and this has got kind of little bow ties and moustaches on, and I think that's a tie on that junction there. But this, I mean, whether I get round to it today or not, this would be great for paper piecing in different designs. I might get around to that today at some point. The thing is, there's so many ideas going through my head on how to use them that I just haven't had time to do them yet. This is a really cool one. I think this is going to be very popular. The stars background. Obviously, when you've got your fall aways, you're going to get complete stars falling away. So you can paper piece those back in different sizes and even raise them up on a little foam pad if you wanted to. That's great for kind of any congratulations type of cards or anything for you know, the men in our life, as well as the gentleman background. This is the other Oriental background. This is Oriental background number 1, and this is more geometric, but this is very easy for your paper piecing if you want to do any, which is really great. Then these are your frames. I haven't got around to putting anything on magnetic sheets yet, which is really bad of me. I think the packaging's wrong with that because they're not scalloped, but they are cross-stitch. Now, Tutti Designs are the first, and as far as I know, the only company to put cross-stitch around the edges of the die, which is really different, and I really like that. So, obviously, you can see here the way they stack up. There is a wider border down the long edges than the top. This is a great size for your sentiments. A lot of fill sentiments will fit into that bar there. So I really like that one. So those are all your Slimlines. So there's not absolutely loads, but I think there's 7 here. So it's a really good start. They certainly do a lot more. And as I said to you, then it's not all about those. If you're not interested in those, which, why wouldn't you be? Oh, there's one other thing I want to tell you, actually, while I'm on the Slimlines. This is one of Sue Wilson's, which she launched last week. The stitch rectangle frames, and just to show you, the Tutti Design ones are actually bigger. Oh, and I should have mentioned as well that this chappy here, the gentleman background, is actually wider than the others. Because the lengthwise is the same, but it's actually a little bit wider. Can you just see there? It stretches out wider. So the width of this one is actually 3 3/4 inches wide. So it's just a fraction, but it does make a difference if you're doing your matting and layering, so just beware of that. So yeah, so let's grab a normal one, a normal width one. So on Sue's, if I took that to the cutting edge there, you can see that that is actually longer than Sue's dies. But that doesn't mean to say that if you purchase, and it's actually wider than Sue's dies as well, because there you can see the cutting edge there and the cutting edge there, but our cutting edges are out here, so they are actually bigger. So if you're thinking of prices, obviously the metal on this is going to be more than the metal on these dies here. But there's nothing stopping you, because these are frames, there's nothing stopping you cutting that and then just trimming a little bit off to pop your frame around if you didn't want to go for the Tutti frames, or if you've already purchased these. So, you know, there's definitely mix and matchability, if that's a word. It ought to be if it isn't, with those. So, yeah, so other dies that are on the show. We've got more stitching, because obviously I really like the Tutti Design stitching dies. So you've got your stitching stars. There's just 3 in that set, but obviously they're going to stack up really nicely, and you can kind of cut your backgrounds out of them and keep the waste for another project, so that's really useful. These I really like. These are your cross stitch hexagons, and you can make a fab background with that little die there, because they're really set in. So if you've ever done anything like quilting, you'll know that hexagons are really useful to have for backgrounds. So that's those. Then we've got for Easter, we've got this one, which is your butterfly spring egg. As you can see, you've got butterflies in an egg, but that's a really pretty little die. They all cut beautifully, absolutely beautifully. The only one that I've had to run through twice is the kimono, which we'll come to in a minute. This is your Happy Birthday oval. We have had Happy Birthday square, or a square before now. So this is a similar theme to that, but obviously in an oval shape, and it will fit if you've got any of the Tutti Designs cross stitch nesting dies. The oval size is actually the perfect size, because you know not all ovals are equal. So some of them will be longer and narrower, some of them will be fatter, but obviously they've designed everything to work within their system, which is perfect. So that's that one. Then we've got a couple of them that are kind of useful for weddings and engagements. So this one's called the Proposal, obviously. Really lovely. And you've got these fall away hearts in there, which you can use kind of, I suppose, be between them if you wanted to, which is really cool. And then you've got the dancing couple as well, which is obviously really useful for on your wedding day, because he's got tails on. So that's another beautiful die as well, again with lovely fall away pieces that you could paper piece in if you want to. Really beautiful dies. I think they're available on her Chandra as a pair or singly. None of the stock seems to be loaded on there yet, but a lot of the pictures are on there. But obviously I'm showing you everything anyway. This is the kimono. So this is the one that I've had to run through twice, because it's very, very fine detail on there. Your machine, you might not have to. Again, this is quite therapeutic for your paper piecing. You could put little pearls on there if you wanted to. Really, really pretty. The oriental ones seem to go really, really well on her Chanda. They're very popular. So that's the first of the orientals, and then the second one is the pandas. So the pandas are really cute. So you've got a mummy panda and a baby panda. Really like those. And then this one is actually called the Asian tapestry. But obviously you can use it for absolutely anything, and you can have any orientation. Again, it's got fall away bits for paper piecing, and this will fit onto the Sentimental Yours double D rectangles quite nicely. The stitched rectangles from the cross stitch rectangles from Tutti aren't quite big enough to mat this onto, but it will certainly fit on. And this is an A6, so that shows you the black card is A6. That shows you what sort of size you're dealing with on that. Then we've got another Lily of the Valley. The Lily of the Valley, it's a Lily of the Valley bunch. Dies go very well on her Chandra as well. We've had two other Lily of the Valleys on there, and they both sold out. So this one's very pretty. Nice to just ink the leaves and just leave the stems white. On that one. And then another one that's really, really popular is their leaf designs as well. This is your maple leaf vine. I don't know if you can see if I hold it up. You've got beautiful detail there going into the leaves. It's a really, really pretty die. You don't need to do much with it. Okay. I like that one. I probably won't even demonstrate that one because it'll sell out. And then you've got a couple of word dies. You've got a double thanks here. Two different sizes of the word thanks. So that's everything that's on the show. Hopefully that entices you to tune in and watch. I need one of those in a minute. Which one do I need? I need that one. Right. Okay, so that's all those. Should we demonstrate first? No, I'll show you my samples first, because I'm using glitter and it go all over my samples. Honestly, I have to keep everything in piles because everything I lose, because I don't have time to tidy up between shows. That's my excuse, because I need at least 3 months to tidy up my craft room. So as I mentioned to you, the little hexagon, cross-stitch hexagons are great for your backgrounds. So here, every time I've run something through my machine, I've run a piece of pattern paper from Sentimentally Yours through as well with the smallest hexagon. And when I had enough, then I made myself a card. And you can see I've used the cross stitch rectangles around to make a frame, and I've used the smallest one to stamp a sentiment. Easy, 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 easy. And there's your tall, slim card, trimmed to 9 1/8 inches wide by 4 1/8 there. So just half fold A5 on your scoring board if you've got that measurement. Really pretty. And these are the flowers I was looking for last week when I was doing my Facebook Live last week. So I found the flowers that I'd made originally. So I managed to use them, which has made me very happy. Where am I putting those? Don't want to lose them. Right, so this is the one I showed on Facebook yesterday. This is your stars background. Then we've got an Easter card. Again, I made proper cards and they stand up and everything. And we're using the trio frames from Sentimentally Yours here. So you can see I've used the nesting rectangles, and I've just cut the apertures out using the dies, the butterfly egg, and then cut it in a different colour and nested it in. And the colour of the card, if you're interested, obviously we've got pure white here from Sentimentally Yours. Then this is the I know the sort of yellow one's called Linen White, and it's not cool grey, it's the sky blue. The sky blue is the blue one. Then this is your one of the Oriental backgrounds, Oriental background 1, and your kimono. So it makes a very kind of striking card, a little bit paper piece thing. This is the first card that I shared. This is your hearts background with the proposal and a bit of vellum with a sentiment on there. And then here is the hearts background, but used a smaller portion of it. You can actually get 2 of these cards out of one background. With a frame made with the largest 2 cross-stitch hexagons, and then with the dancing couple. So that makes a really pretty wedding card. Then we've got, these are from doing my apertures. Obviously I'm going to do a demo as well. So just a triple and a Happy Easter card. And this is actually one of my background papers from the Indigo Blue goodie bag last year in December, when we did the papers on the shows, cut with the cross stitch. Right, it's really pretty, isn't it, having the cross stitch around the edge. And I've already shared this one. This is your panda and your Oriental background 2. And those are the sentiments from the memory box shows last week. So everything works together. I've just popped this onto my Facebook header. Your flower background, just paper piece in some sections. Don't have to do it all, obviously, because you're hiding that one. And then you've got your happy birthday oval. We're going to do a version of this. And then not having long tall cards. So this is cutting the middle size cross stitch star into a piece of pattern paper for a change. Self-adhesive sheet on the back, and then some glitter, and then just a star on top. Easy. And this is your gentleman background. Cut it twice and cut the edge off, and then you can actually glue them together. And obviously the star's hiding any bad gluing there, but that's just changed it into a square background. And this is an 8x8 card. This is your Asian background. Very kind of subtle colours on this, just with one of the Lily of the Valley, and I've shadowed 2 of the thanks there. And then we've got, this is like a twofer. So I've got the maple vine frame here, and I've cut the thanks out, and I just popped it onto a piece of watercolour card with loads of space around it, and then misted with some oxides. And then my waist, I've just mounted that up into a card. It's a little bit blurred at the edges where the card's bowed a little bit, but you can just get a twofer out of it. So there's some ideas of how you can use the dies that are on the show. Those where I won't lose them. So let's get into a demo. Nobody's nodded off yet. Morning, everybody. Hi, Marie, Susan, Debbie, Jane, Ronnie, Maxine. I think that's everybody I said hello to. Right, okay. Let's get my bits. So I'm actually going to use up some bits left over from making other cards, hopefully. So I've got some little bits there. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've got my card blank. This is my card blank, trimmed to 4 1/8 by 9 1/8 inches. So that's in pure white card. And then this is cut, this is your flower background, and this is cut from the lemon zest card from Sentiment to Yours. And then I've got a piece of self-adhesive sheet onto a piece of black card. And I've trimmed this. Have I trimmed it with a border? Yes, I have. So this one I've trimmed to 3 3/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches. So that's going to sit on there with a border. It's a little bit of a challenge to line it up, but we'll see how we get on. So immediately we're going to try and peel the back off. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go, it's coming now. Right, keep that a minute. And let's see if I can line this up around the camera. I don't want a big border. Oh, I've got a little bit there. Okay. I'm committed. It's very sticky, this, so once it's down, it's down. And we'll use the rolled up piece to make sure that these are all adhered, because it's very fine actually, this one's probably the hardest to stick down. So if you've got double-sided adhesive, now I did, and the bits I've got left over, I put some Elizabeth Craft Designs adhesive on the back, and I cut it out, but picking all the bits out of the die was a bit of a nightmare. So what we need, not what we're going to do, I mean this is sticky, but what we're going to do is we're going to pop that oval in the centre just like we did before. So I only need, if I'm going to do a bit of paper piecing, I only need to think about this area here and this area here. I don't need to spend time paper piecing that middle bit in. Now I need my tweezers. Hopefully this isn't going to take me ages because I'm not doing loads of paper piecing. So this is on Elizabeth Craft Designs adhesive. So when I was taking this off, I had to make sure that everything stuck properly. Now what I thought I'd paper piece in would be these little fat bits, if I can get them off. If I can't, then we'll just change our mind and do something else. So let's see. Now this has got a right and a wrong side to it. That's got more on it. So that's that side. It's not quite even. Can you see that those two pointy bits there are closer to the border than those two pointy bits there? Okay. So if you're actually doing it so it stands up right, you want to do it that way so that you've got a bigger portion down there than you have up there, really. Okay. So this one's going in here. Doesn't have to be sticky, but obviously it is. And this one's going to go in here. I'm hoping this doesn't take me ages. I couldn't do this one on air. And then just to add a little bit of white, because obviously where we've got black, it's going to look, when I glitter it, it's going to look a bit different. Trying to decide whether to use clear glitter or interference glitter. So it's whether to use chunky glitter or fine glitter. Either way, glitter's going to go everywhere, which is why I showed you my samples first. Actually, the benefit of actually cutting it with the self-adhesive is that all the bits didn't pop out, because the bits pop out quite quickly out of these dies, so you have to be quite careful if you do want to do some paper piecing. And this one, just give a little pop of white. I'm trying not to touch the sticky too much, because otherwise I'll unsticky it. In fact, what I should have done is not thrown that bit in the bin. It's got bits on it now. Right, let's see. So I think we want this one up here. You could, of course, actually what would be quite nice, I'm not going to do it, but you could actually colour in between with your watercolour pens. It should be quite nice as well. There's loads you can do with this die because it's flowers. You could actually, I think, wrap them around something as well. So if you were to cut them out of vellum, say, or rice paper, be careful with rice paper because it might split. Perhaps put rice paper onto some, or use 2 pieces of rice paper, or put it onto something else, and that was quite pretty, didn't it? See, if I was sitting here on my own, I'd probably do these as well. But that's gonna send you all to sleep, isn't it? Oh, glue's over. It is quite therapeutic paper piecing. Paper piecing the kimono in was quite a pleasure actually, because there are some quite big bits in that. Down here. That's quite pretty, I like that. Even if I say so myself. Sometimes it's quite nice putting these bits in. Hang on, let me show you. Get off. This bit. Like those bits, and putting those bits in, which is what I did originally. And that sets it off. I'm not going to do that though, because that'll spoil the whole thing. It's going to go in there. Anybody still got snow? We got a tiny bit of snow here. We didn't have much. I think there's more in Peterborough and Oundle than what we've got here. Hope it's all gone by tomorrow. What it has been is though very icy. Very icy and very cold. They didn't collect our bins this morning because of the weather, apparently. The whole world stops when we get a little bit of snow. I mean, literally, it's all gone. Well, no, it hasn't all gone. That's a lie. Mostly gone. Ed's out. I don't know where he is. He's out. Ed's the cat, in case anybody doesn't know. That bit nearly done. Hope you're all still with me. And then we'll just do just this row here, and then we'll be done. And then we'll add some glitter. Now, if you, because we're on black, obviously whatever colour glitter I use, whether I use the interference or whether I use the clear, it's going to take, the black's going to kind of come through. If you wanted to have some solid black areas, you could cut this again in black and actually paper piece some black areas in as well, and then you'd have like 2 tones, so you'd have black as well as glittery black. You can also bring in your gilding flakes and add your gilding flakes, which would look rather nice. I am hoping to do the mica and ice kind of technique tomorrow as well. So I think now if we bring in that, that'll be fine. You see? It's quite pretty. Just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. That's that bit. Okay. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to do all my glitter in at once. I'm getting a mess once. What I need to do is just, because I want to do a little bit of paper piecing on this as well, because that's on black as well. So we're going to cut the happy birthday out, because what I want to do is paper piece in the flower bits, and it's quite hard to figure out because some of them are slightly different shapes, although they look the same. It's quite hard to figure out where they go. So I thought I'd cut this at the time. Lots of snow in it still. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think up north, I mean, I know that there were a couple of guests on her Chanda that couldn't make it yesterday. And I know that Fee and Scott were hit with snow last week and couldn't get in. So, yeah. Thing is, not halfway down the road, you know, half a mile down the road, and it could be really bad. Now you do, I didn't say, you do need, for the Slimline dies, you do need an A4 machine, because they are longer than the width of an A5. So you have to have the A4 machine. So sorry about that. It's not many dies nowadays that you need an A4 machine for. Right, let's see what we want. If I turn that over, let's peel the backing off on this. Oh, sorry, I knocked the camera there. I'm rubbish at this, aren't I? Absolutely rubbish at this. Now this is just because of the cross stitch detail. It does make it a little bit difficult. Right. And once again, we're going to take oval, your happy birthday oval, and it's going to fit, if I can see, just in there like that. I didn't get it 100%. I'm not going to stress about that. It's working around a camera, that's my excuse. Make sure all these bits are adhered. And then we'll figure out, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, I think. Oh, 10 maybe. I don't know if I counted that one. Right, so that's one. Try and poke them out in situ, which doesn't always work. You could put a bit of tape underneath. I think that's all of them. Soon find out, won't we? I'm going to use my pickup tool to do this. Interference can't beat it. Oh dear. Right, so where are we at here? We're at that one. So that's going to go in there. This is your pearl pickup tool, which is really handy for little bits of paper piecing. That's that one, I think. I hope. Have I missed one? I've missed the top one. That's the bottom one. Get in there. Go on. You can do it. There we go. It's not quite right. I have to do. Miss the other one. It's there. The worst thing is when you think you've got everything and then you empty everything else in the bin and you realise you're one missing, so you have to cut it all again. Been there, done that. That's one that's going to go in there. See, it's very sticky, so if you miss slightly. Right, okay, then that one. Is that turned over? Nope. That's going to go up there. See, some of them I'm getting 100% and some I'm missing. Doesn't matter. Let's go in there. And then we've got one up here. When I cut this out self-adhesive, because I've done that before as well, these little bits here, oh, nightmare to get out of the die. So I wouldn't recommend that either. And not all self-adhesive is equal, actually. So if you're actually cutting, if you want to cut the die out of self-adhesive, I would highly recommend the Elizabeth Craft Designs adhesive. Ours is on today, actually, so you can order some from Hochanda. But if you're just doing like adhesive on the back like I've just done, then the Creative Expression ones or the Woodwear one is absolutely fine. I'm just going to knock the rest of this die out so you can see that it has actually cut perfectly. There we go. You have to watch your curly cues. So, see, absolutely perfectly. Just pop all these little bits out, which you could then actually paper piece back in again if you know, had too much time on your hands. But you can see it cuts beautifully. Right, so that's the happy birthday. Those are going. I've got a whole pile of those. Right, so now we can glitter. I'll put some papers on my. Where is it? There's the glitter paper. Okay, let's do this one first. So what we're going for? We're going for interference. We said, didn't we? Interference. All right, Maxine, we'll go interference. So this is your Rainbow Sparkles from Sentimentally Yours. Give it a good old burnish. So anything that hasn't been paper pieced is going to be covered in glitter. You can see it's because of the interference, it goes a bit kind of greeny. And you get covered in it. Pretty. And let's do the big one. I think I need some more of this. I'll have to ask Phil for some more. Yeah. A lot of it goes back in the tub. Because it's fine glitter, you use less. You use more of the bigger glitter because it's bigger particles. If you've got any sort of self-adhesive actually on the white bits, it's going to stick to that as well. But we haven't, I think. That pops nicely. That's really pretty. I've got it everywhere. I'm going to be wearing it all day now. My son comes in here and gets it stuck to the bottom of his feet, which is quite funny. Shouldn't be coming here, should he? Right, put that away. Obviously my mat's quite static, so it attracts the glitter. So the best way to get rid of it is to mist with water, actually. Get rid of that. I need to try and start with less glitter on the mat than I had. So go back to our card blank. And we'll, because it's okay, all the glitter there, because it's a card blank, I'm gonna add 1mm foam tape as opposed to 2, just to give it a little bit of height, but not too much weight. And I need some more. I'm using the Woodwear 1mm foam tape. Get down there, stuck to me. Right. Obviously, when I'm in the studio, I normally have all my mats and layers done. Having said that, I wouldn't have done it for this one yet, anyway. Right. Peel this off. They do make really quick cards, unless you want to kind of think about it and, you know, do all the paper piecing, then it's just relaxing. But that's the thing with Tutti designs, the dies kind of are good to go straight away if that's what you want, or of course you can change them up and do different things with them. Come on, get back off. doesn't matter which way this goes. It's going to go on there like that. And then we'll add our happy birthday. Again, I'll put this on with 1mm so it's not, doesn't make it too heavy. Because it is like a tent card. I think they call it tent card when it's a top opening. But you could, of course, if you wanted to, like I said, you could actually have the card that way up. Obviously, we won't be putting the happy birthday on that way because it's a little bit too big. But you could bring in, let's see what I've got cut. You could bring in, you could have some, I mean, you wouldn't do it here, but you could actually have some tumbling eggs. Let's have a look. You could have some tumbling eggs coming down for an Easter card. So you could do that. You could have, obviously, the proposal. You could have the kimono on there. Obviously, you know, add it, I mean, I know it's white, but, you know, use your imagination and do it out of a different way. You could have a little bear down the bottom and something else at the top. So, you know, there's lots of different ways that you can use it with the dies that are on the show, but using it with the other orientation. I mean, you could bring in some stars if you really wanted to, but we're not going to do that, obviously. We're doing it this way. And because we're going on to glitter, I'm going to put some glue on the back of my phone. You could put pearls right in this very centre of the flowers as well, which would be quite nice. I might do that when we're finished. The glue will just mean that it'll adhere better. Right, so where are we? We're in the centre there a bit. I didn't need those. I made you watch me put those in and I didn't need them. I think that's centre-ish. Yeah, will do. We'll go with that. So there we go. All done. Really pretty. You see the sparkle going on? Nice. Right, before we sign off, I'll just give you a few more ideas of what to do with your little hexagons. So we'll take a piece of copy paper. Now, if you're a quilter, you'll know all this already anyway. So, like I said, every time I've cut, I've actually run hexagons through. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got some spots. These are all. These are from Sentimental Yours papers. These are the spots and the stripes are from the Enchanted polkas and pinstripes, and then these ones are from the Celestial. Just scraps I've got left over. So what have we got? We've got lots of spots. Got some of the Celestials. We've not got many of the stripes. I'm not too sure about stripes on these, but we'll see. So what you could do is you could take one of your hexagons and then you could build kind of a flower around it, because hexagons are going to give you a flower. These are a little bit sticky. Obviously you glue them down because I have my tape in the centre, so that's going to go. Ah, heaven's sake! I might give up on this in a minute. So you can have that going around there like that, and that one will meet there like that, and that one. I love playing with the little shapes. You can make a really nice background as well with the smallest die in the rectangles. So that long thin die that I said was good for sentiments, you could use that. So then you start off again with another one of your stripes up here, and then you come in with these again and go around that one again and make another flower like that. So that's something you could do. Obviously the one that I did on this one, I just did steps down for the different designs. You could go completely random, so you could just go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, so the different designs. So you could just do that kind of thing, and then you could go, I don't know, completely random and go with that one, and because that one doesn't want to be that one, it could be that one. Obviously glue them down. As soon as you know what you want, glue them down. And then next would be probably another stripe. So you get the idea, don't you? Okay. So yeah, black and white to make a football. Exactly. That's, yeah, exactly. But it's good fun to play with those, and you know, just pop a frame round whichever frames you've got, and that'll give you a really nice card. So I think that's all I want to show you right now, if that's okay, because I've still got some work to do for tomorrow. So the shows tomorrow are at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's actually a really cool day on Hochanda as far as the companies that I represent are concerned, because Indigo Blue are on with Kay at 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and Kay is launching 4 new stamps by Janine Gerard Shaw, which are absolutely beautiful, and then she's got 6 new Luscious embossing powders. So those are launching tomorrow morning, 7 and 10. And I will have those available on my website tomorrow as well, juliewattscrafts.co.uk. And then I'm doing Tutti Designs at 3 and 7. And then Leonie is launching a Fairy Hugs one-day special tomorrow at 6. And I normally do the Fairy Hug shows, but Leonie's agreed to do them this time, because 3 hours back to back is just, it's just too much really, and then the next day. So also I think it's very cool to see Leonie's take on the Fairy Hugs stamps, and they are all brand new stamps that are on the Fairy Hug shows tomorrow. They're an American company, as is Tutti Designs, so please be aware that they're not around for very long on the Hochanda website. So if you see something you like, you need to order it on the days of the shows. So for Tutti Designs, you need to order it tomorrow, and then Fairy Hugs, you need to order it by the end of the one-day special on Thursday, because they come from the States, and obviously they pack them as soon as the shows are done. They pack them and send them out. I'm not stocking anything from the States at all because of all the import charges. It's just too much. Okay, so thanks for watching. Do share this video with all your friends, and I will see you tomorrow on Hochanda at 3. Thanks. Bye.